Slugfest boxing, what's going on, family? We live. Got a packed show coming your way. We're gonna be talking about Usyk just winning the heavyweight championship. That was big news over the weekend, defeating Tyson Fury. We got Jack Catterall and Taylor coming up this weekend. That'll be fight number two between them two. We got Ryan B sample, huge news that has been tested today. We'll talk about what's to come with that, and also some other big boxing news. Rich, what's going on, big dog?
What's up, bro?
Man,
Ready to talk?
I can't call it, man. Same thing here, man. I want to check it out. We got a midnight classic coming your way, so um, right after we have this brief intervention, we'll be back and we'll dive dead into it.
I'ma need an encore. Scream to your throat sore. Why you think I ain't the go for a king on his 10 toes? At the top, you on the 10th floor. It's over, holla 10-4. I'ma need an encore. My swag, you would die for. You can quit, but no, I won't. Diamonds on my neck, make the scandal let you lie for. Haters think it die slow. I'ma need an encore. I'ma need an encore. I'ma need an encore.
Yo, what's happening, big dog?
What up, man?
I can't call it, man. Huge weekend in boxing, man. I know you got a chance to check out the fights. Just happened this weekend. Alexander Usyk became undisputed, beating Tyson Fury in a close fight, man. What you think of the fight, man? What's going on this weekend?
Oh, I mean, it was a great fight, man. Who I picked to win didn't win, but other than that, though, still just a great fight, a great overall matchup, and kind of one of those like it was going one way 1 minute, and then the next thing you know, it went the other man's way. So it was great for the heavyweight, and then a lot of the extra stuff outside of the fight after it was over. You know, all the pay-per-view buys and Usyk cheating and all just the other stuff. But other than that, man, it was a great fight, man. And hopefully the rematch happens like it's set in place for in October. Hopefully.
Yeah, man, there's a lot going on this weekend, man. I thought it was a hell of a boxing event. You know, Saudi Arabia definitely did his thing, His Excellency. You know, you had the stars out. It's a decent undercard before that. I thought it was a couple slugfests that went on before that, and then we got the main event, man. It was everything I thought it was going to be. Been almost 25 years since the last undisputed champion, Lennox Lewis. He was in the building, gave his prediction. I think a lot of people were leaning towards Fury, but your boy Gus Rich got it on the money. I pretty much called this fight. I told you guys I ain't gonna miss no more fights. I kind of missed the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fight, but I ain't picking wrong again. Your boy picked Usyk to win this fight by split decision. Usyk ended up winning this fight by split decision, coming out in the first round. Usyk, it was kind of a fill-out round for both guys. I think Usyk was a little bit busier. I gave Usyk the first round. And after the first round, Tyson Fury kind of just found his mark. Was boxing him around, landing the jab, he was landing the uppercut. That was probably the most deadliest punch that I saw Tyson landing. You kept landing the uppercut several times. He was beating him to the body, landing some nice body shots on Usyk. But in between, Usyk was having a couple of flurries here and there, but for the most part, I thought Tyson Fury was controlling the early rounds of the fight. He was dancing around, and I knew that was going to be his downfall. Tyson kept doing a lot of dancing around, showboating, trying to get the crowd into it. So, I was enjoying it at the same time, but I could see that Usyk just had that look on his face like, eventually, I'm going to get to you. I'm going to get to you. And, he could never really get into a full rhythm. He was trying different things, still using his jab, trying to get a combination. But just because of Fury's size and length, he was able to keep him off. Then we got to the middle rounds, big dog. Then we got around round 7. Usyk started to get a little comfortable. Tyson was still clowning around. He started being able to set him up with the jab and come with the overhand right. Some was landing that. Then came that famous quick right. He followed it up with a a hard straight left. Got Tyson wobbly, had him leaning across the ring, looking like a pinball machine, the way Tyson was bouncing around. And honestly, I thought the ref, there was an opportunity where this fight could have been stopped there. Could have been stopped just by the way Tyson, he was out on his feet at a certain point in time, already going to sleep. So I honestly thought they could have stopped it at that point. But, after about 3 or 4 times of ping-ponging off the ropes, the refs came back in and counted as a knockdown. We had a knockdown. Got back to the fight. And, Tyson got his feet back under him. He started doing a little bit of work, but Usyk was already in his bag at this point in time. Tyson with a little bit of damage good. So I don't think the pop on his shots, the same thing I was saying with Devin Haney, once he went down and he took them shots with Ryan Garcia, it just seemed like it took something out of him. So, Tyson was still landing some shots, was still doing some work at the same time, but he didn't have the same pop that he had in the beginning. And Usyk just seemed to be getting stronger and stronger as the fight went on. And it came down to the wire.
That's where I disagree. I feel like Usyk won this fight for having one flash moment. He won the fight just off the one knockdown because he clearly lost the 11th and 12th round. He clearly lost rounds. It wasn't like he won those rounds or anything. So it was kind of like, because Tyson Fury did typical Tyson Fury, he got up and took back control of the fight. So that's why it was kind of like crazy that they gave him a win for a moment in a fight. Because I
didn't see that.
He really got outboxed almost every round.
No, I didn't see that at all.
Other than the round when he hurt Tyson, the fight was kind of one-sided.
Usyk started getting in his bag at the end, that shot started landing more often. He was also doing a little bit of body work on him. Usyk started controlling the fight, and Fury started having the Fury. It wasn't like he was just in control. He wasn't having his fun. He busted his nose. Let's not leave out of that. Tyson started breathing differently. Usyk busted his nose with a straight left down the pipe too, as well. So he was definitely doing more work than just that one moment.
He had a moment because he lost the championship rounds too. So I just don't understand how they really gave him the nod. Well, I do understand why they gave him the nod for that moment.
I mean, it was a hell of a fight. If they had went with a draw, I wouldn't have been mad at it at all. But I think looking at how the fight went, they definitely gave it to the right man. Usyk, like I said, your boy Gus Rich called it split decision going to Usyk. Usyk got the dub. So, at the end of the day, I don't think either guy lost. I mean, they got in there, did what they did. Both of them on the top of their game. It was a back and forth. You had to see adjustments had to be made. Both corners were doing pretty straight from an adjustment standpoint. I know after the fight, a lot of people were critical about Big John yelling from the stands a lot and trying to tell Tyson what to do. And it was a little bit different instruction from what he was getting from his head trainer. So, that could be something that played into it a tiny bit. But either way, I thought both corners actually did pretty good playing out their game plan. And like I said, it came down to that one moment to where the fight just kind of changed. And from there, I think Usyk did his thing. Tyson, he didn't fall all the way off, but he was definitely a different fighter than the first half of the fight. After the fight, they interviewed both fighters. Tyson felt like, they won the fight. He tried to blame it on, hey man, they're going to the they trying to show love for the Ukraine, give it to them for the Ukrainian reasons. They're going through a lot over there in their country. So I felt like that was a little bit of a sucker move, just looking at how Usyk that went out there and done his thing and actually hurt you in the fight. So it's like, don't make it seem like he ain't put balls on you. You know what I mean? I mean, he bust your ass up, had your nose leaking. So don't make it seem like there was a landslide. You walked the dogs on him, and it was a robbery. It was a hell of a fight both ways. So, I mean, should get him in his love. But Usyk did say he was going to honor the rematch. Tyson Fury has activated the rematch. So that should be coming up sometime at the end of the year. I think they're looking around October for that rematch. That can be a hell of a fight, though. Coming back up for the second time around.
Well, we do know it won't be for Undisputed.
Yeah, that's the interesting point brought up. I should have cracked the news. I thought about making a video a few days ago, going on live to, letting the fans know. But I had got wind that Usyk was going to be, well, actually before the fight, that whoever won, it didn't matter if it was going to be Fury or Usyk, that somebody was going to be stripped following this fight. And Usyk ended up winning. So both fighters knew prior to the fight happening that the IBF pretty much was going to strip whoever won. They're trying to, they don't want to honor the rematch, basically. Both of them had a rematch clause. We want to see this fight again. They don't want to wait again. Their IBF mandatory fighter, which is Filip Hrgović, right now, he's already been the mandatory for quite some time. They've been trying to get him in the ring to get a title shot, but, the belt's been tied up. And in most cases, well, pretty much every case, championship fights are always going to trump the mandatory. But, once you get into the rematch and trilogy land, a lot of times, the IBF in particular, they'll come in and try to force your hand. You're going to fight our mandatory or we're going to strip you type of deal. And that's what's going on here. The IBF is stripping them. They're going to end up making that Daniel Dubois versus Filip Hrgović fight for a title shot. So what's your thoughts on that, man? Crazy news, knowing that this man's only going to be undisputed for probably less than 2 to 3 weeks.
I think it's stupid to do it in the heavyweight division, because all you're doing is you're taking the belt from the man and then giving it to these two guys. One is already beaten, so you're giving the man a belt. He ain't even take the belt from the undisputed champ. He's just, even if Harger wins, he's just gifted a belt, and then you're in hopes to fight the next man up or the winner from the rematch. So I don't even understand why I take a belt from him, give him a belt, and then so he can step into the rematch or step into the fight for undisputed after the rematch. It's so stupid, man. It makes no sense. None whatsoever. Like, I just don't understand it, man. And I just feel like the main reason they're all doing it is the end of this little Turkey Ali Sheik scene with Joshua to get him back into position. Because you saw who he was sitting beside. He's all with him. Like, man, because it makes no sense to strip the heavyweight undisputed champion, regardless if he's fought the mandatory or not. He just fought the second best heavyweight in the fucking world in Tyson Fury. So it's like the whole mandatory. You didn't fight my guy. You fought the second best heavyweight in the fucking world, man. So we can't say it's a duck from your dude who's been a mandatory forever. He's probably about to go to sleep June 1st. And his mandatory will be over, and then it'll be the bar who's already done lost to Usyk and all this. So it's stupid in the IBF. That's why I say fighters should stop fighting for them. Tell them, take me out your ranking system. I don't want to fight for your belt. Y'all can keep the IBF. Y'all want to do shit like that, shove that shit. Like, for real. Especially the heavyweight, man. You don't strip the heavyweight undisputed champion. Like, you don't do that, man. Not after you just fought the second best heavyweight in the world. Like, goddamn, y'all like it's been a year and a half and Usyk ain't fought no damn body. The man, he cleaning out the heavyweight division first and foremost. So I don't understand what the IBF sitting back for. Like, oh man, he's ducking our guy. We got to take that from him. We got to take that. Crazy.
Hey, so that's the crazy thing about becoming undisputed pretty much in any division, man. At that point, you got mandatories all over the place. They're trying to get rid of all the franchise and the super belts so that guys can't duck mandatories no more, or just not take the mandatory fights. But at the same time, we want to see the best fight the best. So like you said, he's fighting the second best heavyweight in the world. So at that point, who gives a damn about the mandatory? But I get what they're trying to do in a general sense, like if you just put it down on paper, hey, this is our rules every 12 months, every 18 months, we need you to satisfy the mandatory. There's always somebody up and coming who, putting in the work and they deserve a shot at the title. But at the same time, like you say, if we're fighting for undisputed for the first time in 25 years, the best two heavyweights in the division are going at it right now. I think you got to go ahead and have an exception to the rule at this point. That's what you would think. But, after doing a little bit of research, it does look like we still, at the end of the day, will get what we want, because no matter if Dubois wins or if Philip Rodriguez wins, like you say, they set this up for Joshua. Joshua's going to end up getting in the ring next with one of those guys. Whoever wins that fight, we're going to get the rematch with Usyk and Tyson Fury. Both of the winners are going to end up fighting each other again for Undisputed once again. So I think we're still going to end up getting the same thing at the end of the day, but it just sucks when you think about it, what these guys went through just to become Undisputed, and less than a month later, we're going to strip it from you, take it from your name. So it's a lot to swallow.
So it's like, but then look, if you look at it like this, so they just stripped Usyk, right? So let's just say hypothetically, Joshua wins the IBF, and then he ends up fighting Fury or Usyk, and then he wins. Are they gonna strip him right after he wins? No, they're not. He's gonna get to defend his undisputed belt, and that's like, and it's so plain to see. Oh man.
See, the thing is with that, the IBF probably would have just been satisfied while Daniel Dubois and Philip Rodriguez fighting each other. So if Anthony Joshua was to win it and the time wasn't up, he probably would have another mandatory with the WBC or one of the other sanctioning bodies that he would have to satisfy. But I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure at that point, since the other bodies are a little bit more lenient, that he would get the opportunity to defend all four belts. So I don't think you're wrong on that at all.
Man, the other bodies ain't even declared no mandatory, because Wilder was the WBC champion forever, and his only mandatory was Dillian White. He popped dirty, and then the other bodies, they just ain't. They ain't never came out and declared, oh, this is our mandatory. The IBF just comes out and be like, yeah, he's been sitting here for 2.5 years waiting on his shot. Like, what? Man, he ain't fought nobody. He just now about to get in the ring with the Bow. Like, but okay, man. I don't like it, man. You become undisputed, you should always get a chance to defend your undisputed title, no matter against a mandatory or anybody else. Or as long as it's a top 5 fighter, there should be no arguing or no reason why you shouldn't keep your belts a heavyweight undisputed champ. I mean, that's crazy. But
no,
that's how you want it, though. Undisputed, man, causes a lot of issues. That's why right now it's rare. And and then after all this is settled and done, it'll probably be a while again before we see another heavyweight undisputed champ. After these next 2 years.
Hey, yeah, it's probably gonna be a while, man. I mean, like I said, they're trying to set it up to where we can get to Anthony Joshua and probably Fury, because if Usyk wins the rematch, I don't see him wanting to fight Joshua. I think he'll probably just ride off into the sun and retire. But if Fury wins, we might can get that fight. That's a big time showdown, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to get anyway. That's why Joshua was there, to get in the ring if Fury won, man. But Fury lost. And he already done got washed up by Usyk, so he knew better than to hop in the ring like he had anything for him. You hop in the ring and shake his hand. That's what you better.
And we just lost Rich, but coming back in. Yo, Rich.
Yo.
I got you back. So staying right there with the heavyweights, man. So who the next guys up? We got Usyk We got Tyson Fury. We understand they're the cream of the crop. Like I said, they're gonna be rematching hopefully in October of this year coming up. But after them guys, you got Anthony Joshua, who's probably the #1 contender for some type of title shot. But the heavyweight division, I think it's still, for lack of better words, right now, still looking pretty sexy with some of the names. If you're not a casual and you're actually into boxing real deep, it's a lot of good names out there. So, who's some interesting guys in the heavyweight division that you can see in the next year or two that could probably come into title contention?
Well, I mean, easily the main event on June 1st, both of them fighters are contenders or dangerous at any given time to either title holder, whether it's Fury or Usyk or Joshua and Wilder and Big Bang. Then you got Joseph Parker, who's the dark horse. I feel like he's a problem no matter who he fights. Then I guess they want to try to put a little younger blood in the mix with the Jared Anderson situation or whatever, but I'm not too big on them like that. But other than that, I feel like in between those three names I just mentioned right there and the three names of Joshua, Usyk, and Fury, I mean, that's the heavyweight divisions in the hole right there. Maybe you throw Andy Ruiz in there, and depending on how Wilder looks or how Big Bang looks, we drop and take him off the list. So, right off the top of my head now, I can't think of nobody else that's standing out.
Yeah.
But Joseph Parker is really the one that's looking like he might be a champion real soon.
Yeah, I think, Wilder and Big Bang, their window is closing, so they might get one more opportunity to showcase themselves. I think the loser of this fight will never get that opportunity again unless it's like a replacement type of deal. Somebody gets injured and they want to sub in real quick. But, them guys are up in age at the same time. So it's like they don't have a lot of time left at the level they at. So I could see them possibly one more time getting a shot. Joseph Parker, he's only like 32, 33 years old. So Joseph got some time in the tank, and he's rejuvenating his career. He put in some work against Wilder.
Joseph Parker's like 28, man.
Nah, he in his 30s. He in his low 30s.
No.
Yeah, about that, because when he fought against Big Bang, he was about 32, 33.
And Tyson Fury's 33, ain't he?
No,
Tyson Fury's like
Tyson
36.
Fury's older than that.
Yeah, he's like 36. And then Wilder's like 30. Joseph Parker's like 28, man.
Nah, he ain't that young. He a little older than that. I'm pretty sure of that. I'll look it up in a little bit. But either way, Joseph Parker, like I said, he got some time in the tank. He rejuvenated his career, put in a good performance against Wilder, turned around, put up another big performance against Big Bang. So that's another name that could slip in there and possibly get his rematch with Joshua. I wouldn't mind seeing that a second time. He took Joshua 12 the first time. So I definitely see him over the next couple of years getting back into that mix once we get this rematch out of the way. I do like Jared Anderson. I question his mental stability. He's got like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But from a talent perspective, his offensive game is mean. The boy got power, he got speed, he got footwork. He does have some lapses on defense. He gets hit a little bit, but I think he's gonna have to step in there with a little bit more competition, somebody who can really challenge him, and that'll make him focus on that part of his game. So I like him for the future. Joe Joyce was the name we left out. Joyce coming off of 2 back-to-back L's. Before that, Joe Joyce was #1 and #2 in a lot of the sanctioning bodies ranking. So, he's about to fight Derek Chisora coming up. They just announced that, I think, earlier today. He's going to fight him in July. So that's somebody else I think that could get into the mix. But, it's just a lot of interesting names that's going to be banging it out. So I think Fury and Usyk are on their way out in the next 2 to 3 years. So we'll have a crop of young blood. What about F.A. Ajabe? You like F.A. Ajabe?
Man, no, man. And I don't see these guys as no type of prospect. Andrew Ruiz is better than all them fighters, and I don't think that highly of Andy.
No, Andy's a good fighter. I ain't gonna say I don't think highly. I think Andy's pretty good. He's not an all-time great, but pretty much anybody you put him in there with, he can give a decent fight to. Besides maybe Tyson Fury because of the size difference, but anybody else, Andy he got a chance to win. So I think he's a solid fighter. Jave, he started boxing real late, so he's got a lot of power.
Joseph Parker will not.
Yeah, I don't see him as a title contender, but he's one of those fighters that I think over the next couple of years he's going to surprise somebody and stop one of those guys that we've been talking about. He's going to catch him with a nice. I think he's a dangerous fighter. I'll say that.
He had his chance against Jared Anderson, man, when he was young to show something and do so. He had his chance. He showed Jave showed us what he was, man. He ain't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love Jave or nothing, but I think he makes it interesting though, just because of the power he has. One punch can change something, man. Done it over boxing history. So the heavyweight division, I think it's looking up. It was kind of top heavy for the last few years. I didn't really like, how they were pushing Dillian White. It seemed like every year Dillian White was getting a title shot. And I'm like, what has this dude done? Keep getting all these title shots and stuff. So I just want to see some fresh names. And I think we got a couple, some young guns and some other guys that's revamping their career there. But I do like that Joseph Parker pick for somebody that could contend later on.
Hey, what if the IBF lets Joseph Parker fight the winner of Dubai's in high grade rather than Joshua? They make Joshua fight the winner of Wilder and Zane. I mean, that's just one thing, because I'm like, what they gonna do with Parker? I mean, he done beat Wilder and Zane. That's why I'm sitting there like, what they gonna do? Well, like, what? He's just there to get big fights or something. Like,
he might have to take another route, if the IBF route crowded like that. And if he already know they're going to show the love to Joshua, at that point, you're going to sit and wait it out, or you're going to try to take one of the other sanctioning body routes and go that route and try to force a mandatory, probably after the fact with whoever wins or something. I mean, other than that, unless somebody's going to take you on a voluntary, and most people not going to take Parker on a voluntary, you know what I mean? It's a dangerous fight, and it's a big fight for people who love boxing. But outside of the UK, Joshua Parker he has a decent name, but it's not like Anthony Joshua and Fury or Anthony Joshua and Usyk. Like, that's a much bigger fight. So if the IBF, I think if they got their choice of which one they're ready to put on, they're gonna put on the Joshua fight before Parker. I would think anyway.
they're already doing stupid shit, man. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. So, man, Boston just crazy right now, man. So much going on. Also today, on the East Coast, it's just past 12 o'clock. It's close to 12:30 now. So as of yesterday on the East Coast, Ryan Garcia and his team got together. I think they went down to the lab and they were able to visually see the sample being tested, the B sample. If you don't know, Ryan Garcia had a test that popped dirty on the A sample a few weeks back, right after fighting David Haney. They had been scheduled for May the 22nd for him to be able to test the B sample, which was today. That happened. We still need to wait some time, maybe a few days, maybe a week or two. Just depends on how that all plays out. But we do know the B sample has been tested, and we'll get the exact results on that coming up soon. So any change in heart or any extra evidence or anything that makes you feel a certain way since the last time we really chopped it up about this situation. A lot of people have been making videos, a lot of people have been dropping a lot of stuff, social media, Ryan himself. And, I think it's a lot of evidence going both ways. It just depends on exactly what happened in the situation. And where you stand on how you gonna see it.
I mean, I just feel like it's a lot of BS with the stuff. Because even if it does come out that the B sample's positive, then they're gonna talk about the levels. And then like the whole concept behind New York was supposed to test both the athletes too. And I just feel like it's just gonna be extra stuff. It's just gonna be more bad for them than good. This comes about this, and I don't mean for Ryan. Like this situation gonna play in Ryan's favor because it's just people didn't do things right. And Ryan's in Saudi Arabia. He just had his team on his behalf to go down there for the testing, or someone to represent him to watch the testing and be open or whatever and stuff like that. But I mean, I just don't know how to feel with the lady resigning. It's just too much stuff to happen with the Ryans. So yeah, I mean, I feel like he's not gonna get suspended or any of that, man. It's not gonna be nothing about it. Like I said, it's gonna get swept under the rug and moved on about. Because the whole steroid, that was the main thing that people like don't understand. That's what had the whole stuff. The Nanda law was the whole extra shit that had everybody, oh, it's over, all this stuff. As soon as that got popped out, then it was all the extra damage control. Now we got all these people coming out saying, oh, yeah, he could be dirty. It don't matter. It can't get in your no way. Then you saw USADA, like I said, man, USADA dropped the video and said it. Like, dude, these supplements out here are tainted with osprey and other stuff that's not on the labels. They came out and said it right after this situation. So I already know, like, Ryan's not going to get no punishment, man. It's just this situation just exposing a lot of supplement teams and a lot of people not doing their testing procedures right and people not following their own policies and doing it how their policy says does it when they don't even do it. That's like, because by him and Devin Haney both were supposed to get tested by New York, fighting in New York. And New York clearly said they don't have a third party, so VADA can't test for New York. So it's like, who the hell? But I mean, that's why now it's taking so long. Everything's taking so long now. Like we're having more time in between the B sample than we had in between the A sample. But then we took 3 weeks from the A sample before the fight. But then y'all got policies that say no fighter can step in the ring and lace up without being tested. No, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people that kind of view it the same way you view it. They look at that, it's a lot of circumstances, a lot of things going on outside the test that probably, I guess the best way to say it is a little bit shady. And I mean, I think you can look at that, there's definitely some truth to how certain things have handled. It could have been better, in my opinion. But me, I'm still on the other side of the fence. Only thing I can stand on is the certain facts that we have. And the only facts that I know 100% sure is that at least for now, the A sample was dirty. So in that retrospect, that he entered the ring as a dirty fighter. And, me just looking at it just from an athletic standpoint, period, not just a boxer standpoint, you're supposed to be responsible for what's in your body, even if it's something that on the ban list. And it was given to you.
That's why given to you. Out and cleared them. You are responsible, but you're not responsible. But you are not responsible for companies that allow illegal substances inside of it and don't put it on labels. That's how you see it.
You
can't be held accountable for, and then the amount that was inside of him, the 6 billionth of a nanite. Like you can't inject that much. You can't.
At the end of the day,
there's only a certain way you can get that amount in you. Like it has to be consumed very lightly in a small dose. It's not no damn. So it's like it's gonna blow up in their whole face, man. It's really gonna blow up.
But like I said, that's one side of the fence. That's how you see it. I see it totally different than that. Like I said, as an athlete, no matter what the sport is, you're responsible for what's in your body. So if this was in your body, in my mind, hey, there has to be some type of repercussions because, like I say, his out for me is if the B sample comes back clean, that means that whoever handled his A sample contaminated that sample when they were actually doing the testing. I worked in a lab setting for 10 or 11 years, so I know contamination can happen with the human element, just being in a lab setting. So that's definitely a possibility. But as far as if we're going to go off of the companies and all that stuff, that's a huge stretch for me. I'm not ready to go there yet. From my view, I just look at the facts of what it is. And at this point in time, I've seen a bunch of athletes who had legitimate, supposedly excuses that, still ended up being punished. So that's just kind of how I see it right now. I'm not ready to go there at that point. We'll see once the sample come back, or the evidence. Of course, there are certain aberration situations that have happened in the past to where, there's been stuff happen from the companies to where stuff where the actual manufacturing of the supplements or the dietary supplements or the steroids or whatever you're taking have had stuff in it that was not on the label. So I understand that's a possibility in a lot of cases, but I feel like the time that they took after knowing the A sample until now, waiting until the 22nd to open it, Ryan got his team together. They've been doing testing on those products and all that stuff, trying to gather all the information so that, they can bring everything to the table at once with the B sample, once that's been tested. So we're going to get a whole bunch of answers real soon, but I think that's a long shot for me.
Just by the amount and the fact that it happened, that you tested dirty before the fight and after the fight, and the amount that was in your system disclosed, like it's obviously an accidental consumption of something, because it's such a small amount. It's not like it was leftover traces or him cleaning the system out of so it's like people ain't even using their head when they're thinking about the shit they're saying with the stuff all the way. They're just he's on steroids. I was like, dude, y'all got to see what's going on, man. And people are gonna lose their job behind this, man. That's why that lady resigned. But it's coming. It's coming, man.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not a doctor or a scientist, so I definitely know in 2024 it's definitely different ways for people to mask and do stuff sneaky. Not saying that he 100% did, but there's ways for stuff to be done. So I'm not gonna look at it like there's no possible way that somebody can pull it off, but they definitely can. There's so much technology out here, so much stuff that's probably still undetected.
For you to make it like that though, he passed 4 tests prior to the stuff. So it's not like, he was masking like the best masker ever and then like had a lapse on fight night.
Nah, but like I said, I wasn't saying Ryan Garcia. I said, period, it's 2024. It's a lot of people that know how to just get over from a testing standpoint, period. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say that like that's impossible or something like that. So it's definitely people who cycle on and cycle off and know exactly how to do it. And if you off by a couple of milligrams on that dosage, you might become detected or something. You got to do it to a precise schedule, exactly how stuff's supposed to be done. So it's a lot that goes into it, like a real regimen.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's real complex. But I know Victor Conte knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Victor, Victor was the best at it. So that ain't no secret. That's why, like I was saying a couple episodes ago, it's smart to have Victor in the testing part of it. Now, as far as working with fighters, I'm not for him working with fighters and training fighters. I get that part.
Yeah, and I ain't with him reading Ryan Garcia's test results like he's got it in his hand. All this stuff. He inserted himself in the situation.
Well, I mean, everybody pretty much. Dan Rayfield was the first to put it out, so Dan Rayfield had it in his hand beforehand. So, I mean, that could have come from anywhere. Somebody else sending that. But
works for
Victor don't work for Vada.
Man, Victor works for Vada, man.
No, he don't, man. He's independent. He gives
Oh, during this Ryan Garcia situation,
constellation.
that man works for VADA, man. He's reading off the test numbers, the amount. He's reading off the reasons why it could be in your. They messed up, man.
Yeah, they went to the best man for the job. You know, once you know how to do something real well, like hack the government, you know, we're gonna use your skills. You know, we're gonna just lock you away right now and throw away the key. We can use you. You're smarter than our top guys. So from a testing standpoint, I would use Victor, but as far as working with fighters, that is a little bit sketchy on that. So, I mean, he has had some fighters that have popped, though. So, even in thinking of him working with fighters, it's like, if you were going to be shady, I'm not going to have my fighters get popped if I'm Victor Conti, but I think he's had four to six fighters since he had the snack program that have popped dirty. So, I feel like if he was able to jump around the test, he would have made sure that, you know, none of those guys pop dirty.
Or maybe relationships went south and sour and he made them pop dirty. He stopped helping them. Look at it like that, man.
That's possible. I mean, anything could be happening, but for it to be 4 to 6 examples of that, you know, somebody would have been trying to expose Victor or something at that point in time. Again, for the second time. But hell of a lot going on here, man. Like I say, we found out the B sample was tested. We'll get a lot of information on when that's gonna come available from a results standpoint in the next few days till the next week or two. And we also get a lot of information on what Ryan's team has been doing behind the scenes as far as testing some of the supplements he may have been taking just to get an answer from that side. But nonetheless, we're going to get an answer on this real soon. Huge news, man. Coming this weekend, man, we got another pretty good fight. Definitely, if you're a huge boxing fan, you probably seen, I think it was about close to 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, where Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor surfaced the ring. You know, they both stepped into the square circle. At this point in time, Josh Taylor was still undisputed. Had all 4 belts at 140. Was just coming off maybe the Regis Prograis win. I think that's when he became undisputed. Beat Regis Prograis, fought Jack Catterall. Jack gave him everything he wanted, boy. Stepped in there. I don't think Josh was prepared for what he got hit with. You know, Catterall seemed to be the tougher guy. He was beating him to the punch. Every time Josh would start the jab early, Catterall was countering with his own jab and you know, hitting him with a 1-2 to the point to where Josh stopped even using the jab, and you know, he started trying to fight on the inside, you know, trying to get up close. You know, I was like, you know, this is not like Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's used to stand and trying to control the ring and just box and use that finesse ability and skill set, because he definitely has a lot of hand skills and is a talented boxer. But Catterall wasn't having that. You know, he took him to the woodshed and mucked it up, made it a rough fight. And I thought Jack, in my opinion, had won that fight. You know, I'm gonna have to go back and actually check it out. It's been a while since I've seen it again, but I remember initially, you know, on my card, I had Jack Catterall winning. What's your thoughts on this fight coming up, and what was your thoughts on the first time they fought?
I didn't watch the first time they fought, but on this fight, I'm not picking Josh, man. Josh Taylor looked like a completely different fighter the last time I seen him in the ring, man. Like he's aged so much. Like he's aged years and weeks, type stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just going with Catterall on this one, man. But Taylor's not the same fighter, man. He's not gonna pull this one off. You said he won the first one, right?
Yeah, he won it, and there was so much controversy, and people booed the fight so much that he pretty much came out and they was like, "Hey, you got to fight him again." And that's why he was in that same situation that kind of Usyk and Tyson, and Crawford was in, to where he ended up taking their rematch and they stripped him. And that's how one of the belts ended up becoming vacant, but he still had the other 3 that he ended up losing to Tiafimo in his very next fight, to where, like you were saying, he didn't look the same at all. I mean, Taylor's used to being a skillful guy. You know, he's got pretty good footwork, some good hand speed. But I think people, you know, they got the blueprint out on him right now. You got to make it rough for him. You know, chase him down, walk him down, and just beat him up. You know, don't let him get pretty in there. If you make it a pretty fight and let him dance around, you know, you're gonna give him a chance to hang around and get some confidence. He got a little bit of pop to his punches. But Teofimo came in there and just pretty much annihilated him. So after having a tough fight against Jack Catterall, he came in there with Teofimo and just, I mean, from start to finish, Teo just looked good, you know. And Teo is one of those fighters where one fight, man, he'll look so mediocre. It's like, man, I don't even know if he's one of the best guys at 140. Then the very next time out you see him, he puts on a spectacular performance. So that particular night, Teo turned up the pots on him, and he just beat the hell out of Josh Taylor. And I think he ended up stopping him. So
well, I mean, I think what it is people are underestimating Sandor Martin. I mean, because that was his first fight at 140. He fought Sandor, and Sandor dropped him. But Teo got up and still won the fight. So I mean, yeah, man, Josh he just looks too old now, man. Like he reminds me like Kovalev, man, the Crusher. Like the way the Sergey that fought Andre Ward is not the Sergey we be seeing out here today, man. So Josh Taylor, I feel like we've seen the best of Josh Taylor a couple years ago, man. So Catterall probably gonna overwhelm him.
yeah, Josh is he's one of those guys. I think he maxed out at 140 pounds, you know, became undisputed. I think if he moves up to 47, that division is probably a little bit too big for him. From a size standpoint, he'll look good standing across from the guy, you know, close to the same size. But his fight style and being able to, you know, absorb the punches moving up and be able to have the pop. You know, Keith Thurman was a man at 140, came up to 47, and, you know, the knockouts kind of went away. So, you know, Josh Taylor's not even known for, you know, devastating power or anything, and him moving up. You know, I just don't know what's there for the future. So hopefully he can have a last heroic moment. You know, I'm going to pick him in this fight. He's had a long time to prepare for it. He's lost, like I say, Jack Catterall. I didn't count that as a win. But on the books, he got a dub, and then, you know, against Teofimo, he just didn't look the same at all. So I'm hoping he can put together another good one and, you know, give us some type of spark for something in the future. But is Josh somebody you think what you think Josh looks like at 147? How about I just say it like that?
I mean, I feel like this is Josh's retirement fight. Josh can't be a 147 fighter. I mean, Josh can't even compete with the dudes at 140 that's there now, let alone go up to 147. If you Sabril Matias, I mean, maybe he set up a Devin Haney fight or something like that. But I feel like this is his retirement fight, man. Josh ain't going to 147. He's retiring after Catterall dog walks him in the ring.
Hey, so I mean, he probably made some good money. Like I said, he became undisputed. He beat a lot of good fighters, so it wouldn't be the worst thing if he became a gatekeeper right now. But I think he'd be a tough gatekeeper for.
He ain't even young, man.
Huh?
He's like 35, man.
Yeah, what I'm saying, but
done.
You know,
out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know, he at the end of it. So if he did stick around, it'd just be like, you know, gatekeeper status. I don't see him getting back into the championship, man.
If he sticks around, he's gonna get hurt. Because it's too many. And then Gary Antoine Russell at 140. It's too many. Like, he's gonna get hurt at 140. He sticks, and then at 147, he'll get hurt, man. He just needs to retire, man. Especially if he's gonna look how I feel like he's gonna look in this fight. This is his last one. Just retire in the ring, Josh. You became undisputed one time. You did your thing, man. You overachieved boxing.
Hey, I want to see how he looked, though. I mean, let's just say he looks good, though. What if Josh put on a nice performance and look like old Josh? You think it's anybody at that point in time?
If he come out there and look nice, like he come out there and win and off points, because he's not gonna knock out. He's not knocking nothing out. So if he comes out there and actually boxes and wins off points, I'll be, like I said, set up a Devin Haney fight or something like that. But I just don't think he's gonna look good enough to where I'll be like, yeah, he can fight Matias, he can fight Pitbull, he can fight T.O. again or something like that. Nah, just retire, bro. That's what. But like I said, he's not gonna look good this fight, man. He's gonna get overwhelmed.
If he for whatever reason do look good though, man, if he come back and look, like old Josh, I might would want to see what he do against a Matias, to be honest. I think that'll be a huge step up fight for Matias fighting him. Somebody that skill set and who Josh been in the ring with, Josh been in the ring with some definitely some good fighters. So, but I'm gonna judge it off of how he look against Jack Catterall. We'll see, because he ain't look too good. But
you trying to get Josh Taylor killed, man?
I mean, Matias is definitely a beast, but at the same time,
he definitely has a body.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Man,
he ain't fought nobody with Josh skill set either.
Man, Josh will get broke down, man, by Matias, man.
He might. I ain't saying he ain't, but I want to see. I think it's a good step up fight because T.O., he ain't about to fight Matias. Maybe Isaac Cruz and Mike can mix it up with Matias for unification since he got that belt.
I mean, yeah, like that. Yeah, they can compete, but Josh Taylor in the mix with any of them, man, he's gonna get hurt, man. If he's looking like the Josh that's in my head, he's gonna get hurt, man. He just needs to go out on his shield in this fight because that's what this fight is for. He just gonna go out. He gonna go out on the shield, man. He gonna call it quits. Great career.
Hey, I mean that 140 division is just deep, man.
Man.
Would you say it's the best? Monster. Would you say it's the deepest division in boxing now?
I mean, it's one of the more promising divisions right now with the amount of potential in it and just the caliber of fighters that are all lined up in there right now. Yeah, man. Like it's right there. It's the old 135. It's what 135 used to be a couple years back. When we wanted all them big fights and niggas wasn't fighting each other. But yeah, 140 is a doghouse, man. Like there ain't no way we can't have great fights at 140 right now. There's no way.
Hey, do you know on that tank card they announced the undercard, and I think you brought up Gary Antoine Russell a few minutes ago. We was all assuming that Sandor Martin was going to be the mandatory for Devin's belt. It's actually about to be Gary Antoine if he win this next fight. They made it an interim for the mandatory spot. So, hey, you know how I feel about Gary. I feel like he washed everybody at 140. So, hey, that's trouble. That's trouble. That's trouble.
I don't really know Gary. I'm gonna check Gary out for real on this not June 15th card that he's on. Like that's when I'm getting my first official real judging of him. But man, yeah, it's looking rough for Devin out there, man. He might want to go to 147, man. He's getting surrounded because the Sandor Martin fight wasn't gonna be no cakewalk either, though. So I mean, it's everywhere. But I mean, I don't know if Devin even cares about unifying or anything. Like we don't really know if he really don't want to make 140 or not. And like you said, so if Gary wins, I mean not Gary, if Antoine wins, he's gonna he takes the #1 mandatory slot. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, he'll be in line for it. At that point, he'll just be waiting for the WBC to actually order the match. Or if the mandatory is up.
But what happens to Sandor? He's just been sitting there waiting. They just gonna automatic. Is Gary fighting Sandor Martin?
Nah, he's fighting Alberto Puello, whatever his name is, Puello.
So what they gonna do? Move Gary up and then have him and Sandor Martin fight in the future? Basically, what they're saying.
Yeah, it looks like he's jumping them. We've seen several times where the #1 spot for whatever reason didn't get filled. It could be Sandor got something else going on, something else he's trying to line up and not going that route, or it could be
unless they already got word that Devin's gonna be dropping the belt.
Yeah, it could be a lot of different reasons as to why they made Gary.
I'm trying to understand why they're gonna make it an interim bout, but you still got the mandatory challengers sitting over there.
I mean, but it wasn't. He was just the number one contender. They never activated it with Sandor because, I mean, then you got to think too. Sandor, I mean, he put up a hell of a fight against Tio, but in his last fight he did lose. So they probably were just looking for anybody with promise to be able to jump him and get a shot at the title. Since he just came off of having a title shot. So that might be because, I mean, you remember when Keith Thurman, he was sitting for a long time. Keith Thurman was out for quite a while, and then out of nowhere, we looked and Keith Thurman was back at the top of the rankings at 147. They just inserted him straight to the top. So they be moving cats around how they want to move them.
But no, it don't make no sense to not make the Sandor Martin and Gary Antoine Russell fight be the interim fight rather than this propeller dude or whatever who's not even in the conversation. So that's why I'm a little confused about that.
I mean, like I said, they do it all the time. Like the dude Shakur Stevenson's about to fight right now. He's fighting like he's a good distance down to 135. Like it's a couple guys that they could have got in there for Shakur, you would think, but you know they went all the way down to probably like number 6 or 7 on the rankings list to give him that fighter. So sometimes cats just turn people down. They might have something else going on, or he looking to go another route. See, what we don't know is Sandor actually might be high in another ranking system as well. Maybe he's number 1 in another one. He's going to take that other route instead of taking this route. So it could be a number of reasons why they decided Gary, or they might have just pulled a bold move and said, we'd rather see Gary in there and taking that shot. I mean, sanctioned bodies kind of move to their own beat, so you never know exactly what their motives is sometimes. But it'll play out. We'll see how it play out, and then that's going to answer all the questions on exactly what they got going on. But that's a deep-ass division, though. A lot of dogs out there. It's definitely going to be tough for, if you fight the best of the best at 140, it's going to be tough for you to keep your O, no matter who you are.
I mean, ain't nobody undefeated, man. Only undefeated fighter is Tank. Everybody else got in there. Except for Shakur.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody else is
going to that division, though. I mean, you can't expect to keep it. Well, Gary still got his, though. You know, he's up and coming.
Gary don't go in the conversation. Gary ain't fought nobody.
Yeah, you better see him right now. He better put in this work.
That's ain't nobody. He still ain't
his best.
Nobody.
His biggest match would probably be T.O. at a 140, but I think he in the end beat T.O. But I like the hardest part would be I would like for him to get an experienced fight before fighting T.O. Like getting in there with Matias or getting in there with Isaac Cruz first and then getting in there with T.O. So you had a step up fight. Because if you get that A plus T.O., that's a hell of a fight right there.
Man, whoever fight Pitbull Cruz is probably getting knocked out, man.
Pitbull, all right, man, but I think people put a little bit too much gas on.
I mean, I don't. That man's looked good in all his fights, man. The worst he's ever looked was against Javante Tate Davis, and that was an arguable fight, man. So
now he had another fight, the fight right after Tank that he struggled in. He struggled a lot in that fight. He ended up winning, but he struggled a lot worse, I thought, than the Tank fight. You know, I thought he looked a little bit better in the Tank fight than he did in the fight right afterwards. So I mean, he can't really.
He's probably trying to find his way with the division and weight. He just moved up.
Yeah, the thing about it though, his style, and you know, he's great at what he does. I mean, amazing at what he does. But if he gets in trouble or somebody giving him trouble, I just don't see with his size and his disadvantage what type of adjustments could he make. You know, so that's the thing I see. If you're able to have success on him, what adjustments besides going for the Hail Mary can he do?
I'm talking about, man, you can't hurt him.
Oh, you gonna get.
We saw that with Tank. Tank broke his hand on the motherfucker. You can't hurt him. And so it's like, how you gonna change his pressure? And the rest of the division, y'all can't. But only motherfuckers that can really box like that is Tank and fucking Tio. But the rest of them, they can't really box like that to where you can fight a fighter that's got a chin and just push forward like that, man. So a lot of them guys like Tank, like Shakur Stevenson, he fight Pitbull Cruz, he's getting knocked out. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do to keep him off of him. He'll get knocked out. Like I can almost bet you that if he fought him, the type of fighter, he can't do nothing to Pitbull. He'll walk him down.
Man, I don't know about that one, man. You might be pushing the envelope on that one. You might be pushing the envelope just a little bit.
You said what?
I say you might be pushing the envelope a little bit on that one. I don't know if I can agree with that one. I think it'll be a hell of a fight. I'll say that. Hell of a fight. But I'm gonna get Shakur. I mean, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna do his style. And his style is like, it's hard to get to him, man. So I want to, if Usyk Cruz is the one that can crack that code, I want to see, because De Los Santos was very explosive, had the power and everything, and he just couldn't get to him. You know what I mean? So it wasn't entertaining, but Shakur did what he went in there to do. Fight that style.
De Los Santos ain't no pit bull, man.
Nah, but I think if De Los Santos and Pitbull fought, that'd be a fireworks fight, because they both gonna bring it. Cruz might win the fight, but I think it'll be a good fight though.
You're gonna sleep him, man. The way he had Rolly in there looking.
So who you taking, Usyk Cruz or Teofimo?
I'm gonna go. I said Tio, man. He the only one that can really box. I said only Tio and Tank got the real skill set to
So
get around the fighter that can do that.
You taking Cruz over Matias?
I mean, I don't really got that much faith in Matias, to be honest. He's basic as hell. He's really basic as hell. He's just powerful. And I ain't even gonna say powerful. His punch output, he just don't stop throwing. He works. But like, I am not that super big on him or nothing like that. Like, to be honest, I was just talking that Josh Taylor stuff because he caught that body. But I mean, Matias ain't proved nothing to me. But
yeah,
so
man,
I would give Pitbull the nod, man, just because of what he did to Tank, or how he looked against Tank Davis. Tank could knock everybody out on that list I named, except for Tio and Pitbull probably. But I know he's knocking Matias out quick. Just like, and you'll see coming up how he makes a great fight.
Don't even get us started. Tank probably won't even make it to 140. What's about to get done to him?
Hey,
the ghost.
Hey, look,
Frank the Ghost Martin.
This is where we're gonna find out where Frank is. Like what he looks like against Tank. We'll know if he's actually good or not. Because everybody who's went distance with Tank or looked real flashy for a little brief second, every last one of them fighters that turned out to be very successful fighters. From Mario Barrios to Pitbull Cruz, even Rolly before he ran into Pitbull.
Hey, I don't like how you talking like it's a foregone conclusion. Like, you saying it like everybody that fought Tank. These guys lost to Tank, so you're already looking at it in a loser perspective for Frank. Come on now, show my boy some love. Frank about to get in there and bust his ass.
Man, Frank.
Tank, hey, let's flip the script now. Tank ain't never seen nobody this athletic in there.
Man, stop it. He got in the ring with Ryan Garcia.
Ryan he does not have athletic feet. He's flat-footed. Like, he has fast hands, but he's not athletic.
Man, I want to see this athletic feet, man. When that bell rings, I want to see it. Man, he in there with Tank.
Hey, he gonna feel this pop too. Frank probably got more pop. We about to see. Get the dig into the body on him. Yeah, Derrick James in there working on their body work right now.
Man, don't bring Derrick into this, man. Don't bring Derrick into this, man.
You got to, man. Training matters,
You got to do none of that. Nah, because you ain't gonna try to take Derrick's success from other fighters and put it on to Frank. Like, this Frank automatically gonna be cold. No,
I'm taking Derrick's body of work of when he works for the fighter. Usually, he gets the best out of him for the most part. So, I think he'll get the best out of Frank. That's all I'm saying. So I expect it. I expect an upset. I'm going to tell you that now. I expect an upset. It ain't if Tank do happen to win, it's gonna be a dog fight. It ain't gonna be no go out there and get washed up.
You just messed your whole Gus Rich stuff all up right there, man. That's gonna blow it all up right there.
No, Gus Rich, boy, you know I tell the truth. No lies told here.
Ain't no way, man. That's Tank Davis, man.
Hey, just like I seen my boy Deontay out there working, doing that work. I got Bomb Squad coming next week, stopping them early, stop it. Just like the dog is back.
Hey, we're gonna
Bomb Squad.
Do we got another episode before this?
Oh yeah. We definitely gonna have to do. Yeah, we definitely gonna have to dive and do a full episode and dive into that 5v5 that's coming up for sure.
Yeah. Do we got a okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, we got an episode before that one. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna have to go with Big Bang then, man. I mean, but I'm not gonna be upset if Wilder wins. I just want to make that clear. But I'm gonna go with Big Bang, man.
I ain't upset with none of these fights we've been getting lately. I mean, that's the best part about probably the last year and a half or so. Simply about halfway through this year. Last year, man, they gave us a hell of a year full of lit fights, and then this year we're doing the same thing. So we're getting the best, fighting the best. Turkey, Alex Sheets. He came in, been making some big fights. Amazon's took over, helping out with I think some of the PBC fights. So they put on some decent fights. We're getting the best to fight the best, man. So I might be pulling for one fighter, like them, but at the end of the day, as long as they get in the ring and we get to see these fights, I'm hype about that. I just don't want to be stuck in the past how it was with Joshua and Wilder couldn't bang it out. What's up?
That's why I said, man. If this how I know, bro. If these two fights happen in boxing, the world's about to end. If Wilder and Joshua fight, and Canelo and David Benavidez fight, the world's gonna end. Because that's the last two fights in boxing that anyone could ever complain about, the way we could be like, boxing doesn't give us the fights we want. That's the last two, man. That's the last two, really, to where they can mark off the list.
Yeah, it ain't gonna end right there, man. You already know people want to see Jerron Ennis in a big fight, so that's gonna be the next name we're screaming for.
I mean, well, yeah, okay, yeah.
They've been talking about
big fights, yeah. But
Tank and Monster. You already know they're gonna be screaming for that. If Tank go out here and destroy Frank Martin, and say he just happened to do that, that's gonna be the next thing they're gonna be screaming that again. Which I don't see it happening, but that's what they're gonna be talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's more likely for Tank to fight Canelo than to fight Monster anyway, man. That's what people don't understand. Like that's a more probable fight to happen, but. Yeah, other than that, man, boxing, they cleaned it up. It was like they got in the office and said, hey, guys, in these next 2 years, we want these so-and-so individuals in the ring, get it done. That's what's happening.
Hey, something else, too, that was real important. I think we actually had talked about it offline a week or two ago. But I remember I was telling you that I seen one of the other sanctioning bodies was following suit with that 10-pound rule as far as rehydrating after the first weigh-in. And I've seen some more talks now. They say that a lot of the other sanctioning bodies, I think it's some of the smaller sanctioning bodies like the IBO, but they've been talking about the same thing. So I think right now, since we've had about 2 fighters die in the last couple of months, and they think that some of these big fighters that are chopping their weight down 30 and 40 pounds to go fight in a division that they shouldn't be fighting in, and it's part of that reason. So the communication that I saw talking is they're starting to get on board with. They're gonna force fighters to fight closer to their walking around weight, based on the rules.
Man, look, man, there's nothing in place for the fight. WBO, WBA, WBC, they have nothing to do with what a fighter weighs or how much he hydrates or any of that stuff. That's the New York State Commission. That's the California Commission. That's the Nevada Commission. That's why they're all on this Devin Haney stuff, talking about, oh, you weighed 18% more than what you did when you weighed in. That's state commission laws and stuff. That shit ain't got nothing to do with the boxing presidents and none of that stuff. And the only, like I said, the only other organization that does second day weigh-ins is the IBF. So all this other stuff online is just commission rules and laws. And those ain't even official rules. That's stuff they voted on recently in the past couple years to put in place. Like, it's not even effective. Like, there's nothing. So it's just people putting a bunch of online stuff on and not even knowing what the hell they're talking about, man. That's what it kills me, bro. Kills me.
Now I'm talking about the sanctioning body. The sanctioning bodies do come into play with it as far as in their ranking systems. If you're not abiding by the bylaws or something they have in their ranking system, they're not going to continue to place you in their ranking system to let you fight for a championship. So by that standpoint, that's what I mean. They're all coming in cahoots together, I think, behind that. So that if you're going to be on the championship, of course you can still fight, but if you're going to go on, try to take the arcs of some of these sanctioning bodies, they're like, hey, we're going to stricten the rules to make sure everything is fair and on the up and up. So that's why I think they're looking at.
But what are you talking? What rules though? This is what I'm talking. What are you talking about, man?
They're gonna. I think the talks are now. A lot of the sanction bodies are really on the weight. Even Leonard Ellaby came out. Leonard Ellaby was talking, and he was like, a lot of these weight bullies are about to be in trouble because I mean they're starting a conversation. You know, there's always been hoopla, people claiming somebody's a weight bully, this person's a weight bully, and it's just been in air. But now I think that conversation, like I say, with some deaths and a lot of stuff going on in the sport, they taking it a lot more serious. There's nothing that's fully came out of it now, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, like I say, those sanctioning bodies, they're going to start enforcing some type of rule for you to continue to like move up in the ranking system and fight for belts. So just look out for it, you know. Like I say, when certain people start talking and saying stuff, I know it's some type of conversation going behind the scenes that's a little bit more serious. But you know, like I say, a lot going on in the boxing world. You know, we covered a lot. We got a big fight coming this weekend, Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor Part 2. Followed up next week, we're going to do a big time episode. I'm very excited about next week's card. It was Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol as the main event, but Arthur Beterbiev has a meniscus tear in his knee. Bivol has a replacement fighter, so I'm no longer as excited about that particular fight, but there's about 4 other fights on the card that are top-notch card. This is Matchroom versus Queensberry fighters, so pretty much the best of the best that they have to offer from their stable will be going up against the other best. And that Big Bang and Wilder fight will probably be the biggest fight on the card now, but don't sleep on the rest of the fighters on that card as well. So we're gonna definitely touch on that. We've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. It's 1 o'clock on the East Coast, so we're probably about to get out of here pretty soon. We appreciate everybody tuning in and listening to us. But you know, we had a little bit of success, people tuning in, so we might start doing some nighttime boxing talk. And if you guys gonna tune in, Rich, man, go ahead and drop that handle if you don't mind before we get up out of here, so people can reach out to you on X, Twitter.
Yeah, it's at boxing_Rich 9398308.
All right, and this your boy Gus. You can get at me at Slugfest_boxing on X, what used to be Twitter. Shout out to the Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle team for having us. Like I say, we'll be back again next week for another big episode. Look for us late night. And that's all I got. We out, people. Appreciate you.